All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Karibuni sana to yet another edition of Candid Conversation. We are in season 2 and it's getting better by the day. Everything is gonna be fine. Like we promised, tonight is yet another night. And tonight is quite a treat, because the gentleman that I'll be hosting, I just came to find out that this gentleman, we share so many things in common. And I will be letting you know about it. But for now, I want to say happy Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters. I believe you had an awesome weekend. The feast went great. I did not get an invitation, but it's okay. God bless you. God bless you. And to all who are here tonight, I want to say thank you for tuning in. John Dongo, karibu sana. I can see JBV, awesome. Catherine, we're gonna have a good show because you're here tonight. Onesimus Karanja, karibu sana. KT, you're a star. Fred Minor, awesome to see you. Eliud Derito, Hilda, Nancy Okita. Let me tell you, you never disappoint. Steve Derito, you are a star. Duke Oriku, karibu sana. Tonight is gonna be a good night, and we are looking forward to having an awesome time. And this show, Candid Conversations, is brought to you courtesy Outburst Limited, who do 3 things. That is the Outburst Training Solution, bringing you your corporate training and team building. Outburst Events, managing all your awesome events. Outburst Holiday, taking you there and making sure that in all these you have memorable and great experiences, because your experience is the big deal. I want to request that you follow us on all our social media platforms, and the social media platforms are, all of them are Outburst Limited. So karibuni sana. Thank you so much for showing up and showing off. I need you to show off a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. If you are happy, let me know by typing the word happy. Let me see how many people are happy tonight. Let me see how many people are happy tonight. Let's celebrate and have some positivity going tonight. Kindly type the word happy and let me know where you're watching us from, okay? Karibuni sana. Kindly type the word happy and let me know where you're watching us from. Karibu sana, Pastor More, I can see you. Oliver, you made it tonight. Asante sana. Nice to see you. Eunice, karibu sana. Meg Mbogwa, asante. I can see Samuel Njiri there. Teresia, thank you so much for tuning in to Candid Conversation Season 2. And tonight is gonna be awesome. I can see Janet Tutu is watching us from at the river. Kindly tell us where you're watching us from and why you're happy, okay? And also why you're happy. It's gonna be good. Sheikh, you're happy from Somaliland. Asante sana. Oliver, you're saying you are such a hype man. Thank you, Oliver, making me feel like a celebrity. You are a celebrity, and everyone here tonight, you are celebrities, because I can see you. Steve, you're joining us from Butere. Awesome. Faith Kishumu City. Faith, keki ulipata kweli? I need to know if it arrived or you're coming to pick it from Nairobi. We need to get it to you because you deserve it. Samuel Njiri is watching us from Naivasha and is happy. Jane, you're watching us from Utawala. Hey, Utawala is another county. Karibu sana, Jane. If you are already in Utawala today, the jam was not too bad. So thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. Well, like I said, we're going to have a treat. We're going to have an awesome time. I want to let you know that the reason we hold Candid Conversation is because it's a CSR of Outburst Limited. And when things got bad and everywhere was closed, we used to have what is called the Boot Cancer Challenge every so often, like after every 2 months, and then the culmination was in October. And we do this as our CSR. We raise funds to support the hospices in our country. And so we moved this to this platform because everything went online. And now we are doing health and wellness talks, bringing you the very best in this industry. And so the number to send your support to was right there. I want my team to put it back again. The number to send your support is 750822. 75822 75822. Kindly send whatever you have, whatever you need, whatever you can get, send it to that number, and I can promise you it is going to touch a life, to change our life, to change our family, and it will be for a good cause. So thank you so much for your support. Just like Oliver, Oliver is feeling like a celebrity. I'm giving you a chance to feel like a philanthropist. So join me and the rest of the philanthropists by sending whatever you have, and it's gonna be great. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I also want to acknowledge all our sponsors and partners, people who have come and stood with us, supported us all the way. And we want to say asante sana to all these our sponsors, starting with Outburst Limited, who has put this together and they're making it count. Serena Hotels, with their hotels in Kenya, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Uganda, Mozambique, and Rwanda. Serena never disappoints. Ladies and gentlemen, the more you tune in to this place, I might just be giving you a chance to visit one of their properties. Cakes by Violet, who Faith is telling me, oh yes, our cake is so ready, just waiting for me to land, and she will pick it. Cakes by Violet, we want to say thank you for being a blessing to us, together with Namiri, who gave out the giveaways last week, and I know I'll be mentioning that. Charisma Logistics, thank you for your support. Loreto Convert Msongari always has been there and standing with us. KEFCA, Kenya Hospices and Palliative Care Association, you are stars, keep shining. East Africa Institute of Professional Counseling, for all these people that you are recommending to us to bring and making sure that they come on board as we talk mental health. We want to say asante. Shako Angio Photography, I wouldn't have looked any better, on the poster together with our host tonight and all the other hosts. They are truly grateful. And the guys who are hydrating us tonight, as I speak louder, I need to be drinking. Oh yes, you are stars. So keep doing the good job, warriors. Keep doing the good job. I want to say asante sana to the team that works behind the scene, who are the Outburst team. You guys are stars. Keep shining. And then to our families, like my sons help me to set up, and my family supports me, and so are they supporting you, I know, wherever you are, so that you can tune in and watch. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you a chance to win a giveaway, and I'm giving out our fancy t-shirts, our very fancy to die for t-shirts. And tonight I'm giving you 2. I might even give 3, just I don't know. But this is what I want you to do to win a t-shirt, for yourself or for your loved one. This is what I need you to do. Our topic tonight is inside addiction. Inside addiction. Okay, we are checking the inside of addiction. So let me know, how many types of addictions do you know? And this is what I want you to do. Type on the chat and list them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The longer the list, the higher the chances for you to win the t-shirt. And make sure that it comes exactly where you are. So I'm giving you a chance to do that. You can start typing now, and we will be announcing the winners towards the end of the show. So karibuni sana, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be an awesome time. Now, I don't want to also wait too long before I take your questions, because the Chinese proverb, there's a Chinese proverb I read, and it tells me that that the person who asks a question, they are only foolish for 5 minutes, but he who doesn't, they are foolish for a really long time. So I want you to kick away foolishness, ask that question, and our host, our guest tonight will be answering your questions, and all of us, we will change our minds, and we will be wiser, cleverer, and we will be able to help someone along the way. So karibuni sana, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight the topic is inside addiction. But before we go there, I can see Fred Miner has already typed how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Oliver Manyasi is beating you with 7. You need to add your list. Okay, I'll be reading your list. Mercy Nderito from Kikuyu, asante sana for tuning in. Mercy, also for another Mercy from Limuru. I'm clapping along because I'm happy. Awesome, keep clapping, Mercy. And so, ladies and gentlemen, put your list out there, you know, keep typing your list of addictions, and you just might get a chance to get a giveaway. We are giving out the t-shirts tonight, and the only way to win is have a long list of the addictions. So ladies and gentlemen, addiction is a psychological and physical inability to stop consuming inability to stop consuming a chemical, drug, activity, or substance, even though it is causing psychological or physical harm. So to shed more light on this topic tonight is a gentleman who I said is so much like me, and I will tell you why in a short while, because this gentleman, you know, since I met him, I have been loving his stuff. Okay, he is a husband to Beth Wajiko and a father to David and Tiffany. In his career, he is an information scientist, amazing information scientist. He's a counselor and an author of The Math Booster. He's also a capacity building trainer. He has carved a niche in buying and selling business empires. Wow. Since his core business is to facilitate the growth of business ideas to their fusion, he has been involved in 3 major ventures, that is Standby Management Solutions Limited, HotelBuddy.net, an online hotel business site, and Charisma Logistics and Charisma Resource that runs training and counseling. So his experience is set in the world map, where he is sought after to engage young minds through his charismatic motivational talks, counseling, organization restructuring, training, keynote speaking, and is also a master of ceremony, okay, of ceremony in different organizations. You see why I'm saying he's so much like me. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to invite, you know, to talk to us is none other tonight, who will shed light on these things is none other than Dr. Ezekiel Kiago. All right, karibu sana daktari, karibu sana daktari. Feel at home here at Candid Conversations. And you know, daktari, Shaman Alexi, okay, in his writing on the absolutely true diary of a part-time Indian, he said that there are all kinds of addicts. I guess we all have pain, and we all look for ways to make the pain go away. That is why people are addicted. Daktari, kindly shed light on addictions. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, Mr. Mwangi. I hope you can hear me loud and clear from
You're
your
loud
end.
and nice and clear.
And also let the name doctor not intimidate anyone, because at the end of the day, titles don't matter a lot. What matters a lot is the content that any man carries. So tonight, I have the pleasure to first thank you very much for joining this session. It is a beautiful session as we delve into addiction, and to understand what really addiction is, and to also be able to evade ourselves from the same. Because at the end of the day, we may spend a lot of time talking about people who are not here. They are the ones who are addicted. But at the end of the day, we must be able to spend some time to reflect on our lives. Because at the end of the day, if this cannot change me, then it cannot change anyone else. So we are delving into this, and as we begin, I will be able to take it through. So Mwangi, you let me know when I can take it up so that I can get into my slides. But generally, Ezekiel is a man who has taken time to to be a reader. I'm a self-read person. I spend a lot of my time in reading. And the reason why I read is because I read one quote many years ago that said that any transformation of a person will only happen if they open the window from within, meaning that you are the only one who can allow information to flow within you once you open your door. So that is what we will be doing tonight, just to open our door from within so that we may learn more.
Karibu sana
Mwangi.
daktari. Yeah, karibu sana daktari. So I'm seeing a few people writing. Let me read a few of the addictions that have been written, daktari, and then you take it over from there. Oliver is saying that the type of addictions he has 7: alcohol, sleep, sex, weed, cocaine, ecstasy, and work. Those are 7 from Oliver. Okay, and then Fred Miner is saying alcoholic, workaholics, substance, and sexaholic. Okay, so Maina has 4. And then there's Mary Mutuko is saying tea, drugs, and alcohol. Okay, and then Jane Matu is saying types of addictions are technology, TV, phones. So all those are technology. Then drugs, medical and otherwise, food, religion, books and studies, and also gossip. Okay. Yasmin is coming guns blazing and he's saying tea, coffee, social media, sleeping, tablets, food, watching movies, dancing, eating, cake, smoking, painkillers, and work. Okay, and Jan Matu has added power and socializing. So all these people are trying to get themselves the much desired t-shirts. Daktari, you will be the one deciding who our winner is tonight, even as you tell us if those truly are the types of addictions as we delve into the inside addictions. Doc.
Thank you very much. I will take my few minutes to just dig deep into addiction. And I want to also spend some time just to mention that I attend to a counseling firm called Camille Organization. Camille Organization is a mental health organization that deals with people who have delved into a lot of substance use and as well as addiction, and as well as now the normal mental ailments such as bipolar, schizophrenia, and others. So we handle many type of people every time in that organization, ranging from young people who are in primary school to secondary school, university, adults, parents, and all that. And what we do is that we counsel them. So we combine therapy and what we call pharmacotherapy. That means we use medicine. I don't want to use the word drugs, yet it is a drug, but then at the end of the day, we use that to help people get out of their either addictions, either their problems and all that. So I would want to present and share a screen from here. And so that we may be able to generally understand. I've titled my session today as Addiction, a 21st Century Overview by Ezekiel Kiago. As I said earlier, I am a person who loves the original names I was given by my parents, but I'm a psychologist and as well as an entrepreneur. And in entrepreneurship, I've been able to carve a niche for myself in terms of running businesses. So having said that, then I would want us to ask ourselves a very simple question. Whatever Mwangi gave us as a definition of addiction, I would love to use whatever we use in counseling to talk about what addiction is. And addiction is a repeated involvement with substance. I'm checking my time so that I can flow in good time. That it is that repeated involvement with a substance or activity, despite the substantial harm it now causes. So get that word substantial harm it now causes, because that involvement was and may continue to be pleasurable and valuable. So it is that involvement whereby you continuously involving yourself with the consumption of a certain substance or a certain activity. And everyone who sent their chat saying this is an addiction, this is an addiction, I purely agree with you that there are so many addictions. But at the end of the day, what we must ask ourselves is it causing a substantial harm right now? And then why did it come up? Why did that addiction come into being? Because possibly it was bringing in pleasure, and yet it is still bringing in that pleasure, and it's adding some value to you. Now, I do not want you to just take this. I would want us to go into point by point and be able to pick out the most important part of addiction, because addiction has 4 parts. And the first part is that it includes the substances and as well as activities such as sex and gambling. I never saw anyone talk about gambling, but gambling is a very serious addiction that many of us have engaged into. And when I meet most of my clients, I find that beyond the substance, there are also some other activities that they're engaging in. And then addiction leads to substantial harm. That means it now starts affecting you as a person, and then it affects people who are around you. So it's very important for you to get that addiction may be beyond harming you, start harming someone else. And we are saying substantial because we do not want to say if someone takes 2 bottles of beer and then they come back home, you now tell them that they're addicted. No, it means that beyond what is normal is what we call substantial. And I'll be showing you that in counseling and how we're able to evaluate that. Then it is addiction. Addiction is repeated involvement despite substantial harm, that you know that there is something that it is causing in your family and to you, and then again you're still doing the same. Addiction continues because it was or is pleasurable and valuable. So that is important for us to understand. Substance addiction includes any substance that are taken into the body. So remember that when I said that addiction can be divided into many, where I talked about substance and as well as activity, I said that substance may be anything that is ingested in our system, and as well as anything that we consume, maybe to relieve a pain. Like many people would say, I take Piriton to relieve a pain. The more you use the Piriton, it becomes a substance. It is an addiction by itself. So, and then we talk about things like gambling, we talk about sex, we talk about a lot of sex. And I want to mention this as a disclaimer that I'm not saying that sex is bad. In fact, it is one of the best things that we ever have in life, because this is what it's like what lubricates our love for our loved ones. This is the only place where you're intimate with your loved one. And but at the end of the day, anything that is done beyond, in other words, without self-control, becomes an addiction, whereby you overdo anything you overdo. For example, internet. I use a lot of internet, but what do you use internet for? Pornography. That means you watch pornography. Shopping. There are people who cannot, anytime they're passing anywhere, they would buy. Notice that it's quite possible to live a full and satisfying life without using any substance. So, are there essential addictions? Do we have essential addictions? There is an unmute mic. Kindly help me from your end. Thank you. Food, for example, there is, kindly help me. There is a mic that is unmuted. Thank you very much. Teachers we have been taught that as trainers, we take the attention. If anyone else takes the attention, you cannot share attention. So I was saying that people who eat a lot, say for example, people who are obese, there is what we call bulimia nervosa and anorexia non nervosa. These are ways where people spend a lot of time eating, and then some of them start expelling that through vomiting and as well as fasting and all that. At the end of the day, there are those addictions that are essential. But by the time we eat, it is important for us to eat quality rather than quantity. Another, for example, romantic relationships, you'll find them being an addiction. In our school, our secondary school, I remember there's this young lady, I went to a mixed school, so I had a chance to relate in secondary school, and you'd find these romantic relationships. There's one lady who had what we call hysteria. Currently, it's not called hysteria, it's called panic attack. Now, what would happen is that if she would not see the boyfriend, she would get into kind of a dependency of that boyfriend, and she will faint. She would not breathe. And therefore, relationships have also fallen apart as a way of addiction. And that's why I would want us to reflect and ask ourselves, is what I do every day an addiction? Is it behaving badly, or is it an addiction? And while I will talk about that, I would repeat this statement that addiction is a repeated involvement with a substance or activity despite the substantial harm it now causes. That means if I sleep, for example, if I drink alcohol, 2 beers and I go home, then I'm not addicted. I am using substance, but I'm not addicted. Now, how does it become an addiction? It goes from substance use to what we call substance abuse. That means you take more than your body can take. The body can accommodate a certain amount of alcohol, but the more you take, the more you now start losing it. Now, this is how we now start getting to know that somebody is headed to addiction. And that is when possibly they start driving their vehicle from the bar to their home where they have taken a lot of alcohol. And that is what we call drunk driving. Number two, when you find that people are going to the workplace while drunk, in other words, they drink in the morning and then they go to work, that is already something beyond. So you are abusing alcohol, and it's now leading you to addiction. And then the next thing would be you find yourself now you're using this alcohol. You're spending a lot of time on alcohol, that now you even start stealing money. You don't bring in money. And women have already been speaking about this and saying men are not taking money home. But I don't want to be a sycophant of that. I want to say that anytime you find people going beyond the one bottle that they were doing, they're getting into addiction. Now, when do we know that somebody has bad behavior? How do we compare bad behavior and addiction? This is where now you now start looking at it. This, and I've said here, if I buy 2 beers at a bar every week, even expensive beer, it won't create a financial disaster. Why am I talking about financial disaster? I'm saying this is important for us to define addiction, because addiction is anything that causes substantial harm. I might not be able to afford a lunch with my coworkers, but I'm willing to choose. I could choose not to go and take these 2 beers because possibly I don't have money that time. So, and if even if I don't eat lunch and possibly take a beer, then what I have done is that I have just a bad behavior. Because habits are built over 21 days. When you repeat something over and over again, you find it that it becomes a habit. A habit becomes an action that way until it becomes your character. Character now is what we call addiction, when you have spent a lot of your time on drinking. Now, if I buy 20 beers a night, every night, that creates a substantial financial burden. I might not be able to afford my groceries and all that. So that becomes my substantial harm. Now, one way we can be able to understand substantial harm is to look at the consequences the substance is causing, or the activity that we are engaging in. What is one of the consequences? And I will be talking about that as I conclude Dapo chini, kwamba when we talk about these consequences, we are talking about things like costs. we are talking about some direct issues. Say, for example, people going home even fighting their wives, or wives fighting their husbands. We have seen a lot of people killing each other just because they came home. They did not only use alcohol, possibly they quenched their thirst by using weed and others. So this is important for us to understand that direct cost, for example, if you are using cocaine, it damages your nose. If you drink a lot of alcohol, it damages your digestive system. If you watch porn all day, you start losing interest in your sexual partner. If you shoot heroin, you will damage your veins. If you gamble a lot, you will lose a great deal of money. So some of the consequences that we now start finding ourselves in when we are addicted is declining health. Say, for example, I one time visited, I went to a casino, and people in the casino are given food there. They are given alcohol for free. That means the casino has a way to woo you using a strategy we call the camel strategy to put you inside. And once now you are inside, you now find yourself consuming all that. It damages interpersonal relationships. That means you are not able to relate with others anytime. Why? Because people become shy, people become, depressed and all that. And then diminishing financial resources, you find yourself you don't have money to continue living your life. Now, it is important for us to ask ourselves, then where does this addiction come from? Why is it that some people are addicted and others are not? Now, in counseling or in psychology, we say that genetics plays a major role, or what we call nurture and nature. Nature is how we are born. That if I was born in a family that consumes drugs, and possibly my mother during the time of conception, not really conception, in my upbringing, and as I was also growing, when a mother, for example, who is a nursing mother, consumes drugs, we usually say that there is a high possibility that the kid might be, the system of the child might be affected as they grow. Kimadi, kindly, you are already typing on my screen, so kindly observe that. Drug addiction is more common in families that have a genetic predisposition. In other words, something that has been inherited. But I'm not saying that if your father used to drink, that is why possibly you're drinking. The reason why possibly I go to church and I spend a lot of my church moments is not because my father was a pastor. So yeah, my father was a pastor, so you can be sure that's why I'm talking about that. So it's important for us to understand that genetics plays a role. I think I have 1 minute or two. Availability or the exposure to drugs, you find yourself, you have people who are consuming it, peer pressure. And then this is a major one, desire for experimentation. Many of us do all that. We want to try the first try.
But the fact that you can, listen, the fact that you can have it without appeal for me to access when I want, I am assured that you're not doing it wrong. Okay, but I am not doing it. Okay, the only reason why
We can hear you at the background. I don't know what is happening.
All right, I will kindly ask everyone who is in this forum to kindly put your phones on mute, and then you also don't need to put on the video if you don't have to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Marital challenges. We have a lot of challenges, but it doesn't call for us that if we have marital challenges, we go engaging in other things like pornography and all that. I have a lot of testaments from people who have shared that. And then personalities such as loners, and as well as financial constraints. Now, I won't delve into this because this is what we use in our clinic to check whether somebody is addicted, taking a large amounts, cutting down. When you try to cut down, you get into withdrawal syndromes. You have a lot of cravings and all that. So I don't want to go to this DSM-5, and this is what we use to check whether a person is addicted. Now, I want to spend some time here because this is very important because it will help us as individuals, if you are struggling with addiction, to be able to start asking yourself questions. So this is the only way that we use in helping a person with addiction, what we call reduction strategy. And the reduction strategy is where you start reducing. If you are smoking, for example, cigarettes, and you would want to quit, you first study your habits. How many cigarettes do you smoke? When do you smoke them? With whom do you smoke them? What are the experiences when you smoke them? And then what do you think happens even before you smoke and all that? So you study your habits. And they say that if you study the habits of a man, you would be able to understand where his weaknesses lie. You would ask yourself why you're doing all that, and then identify their costs. How much are they costing you? And then identify the triggers. What triggers smoking? Say, for example, I think about something, I don't have money, and I rush to buy a cigarette or buy alcohol. So you must be able to do all that. And then look at what emotions arise after the habit. Do you get guilt? Do you regret? Do you have pleasure? Do you have sadness? Do you have happiness? So if you find yourself that you are smoking a lot of this, and possibly you're getting into a lot of addiction and you cannot stay without anything, seek help. And where do we seek help from? That is where I want to go. I want to go to that because I can realize that my time is moving very fast. Now, sorry, I have to go back kidogo. Let me just go back and get this. Sorry for that. Now, the first place to go is like Camille organization where we have that. We have mental health hospitals. And anytime you come in and possibly you are struggling with something that is, say, for example, alcoholism, we first take you to a rehabilitation center. Why? Because we can never manage you if you are out there. So we let you get in there and we do what we start reducing the dosage. We use now prescribed medication such as methadone to help you reduce in terms of what you're spending your time on. Because when you're outside there, we have not helped you. You are at a place where the environment is affecting you. And then we do what we call guided imagery. We put you in a place where you sit down and watch a video of a person who has gone through this and has recovered, and you imagine yourself. This is where we do a lot of meditation and visualization. And then we have rational emotive behavioral therapy. This is where we look at your behavior, and then through that behavior, we ask you, what are the consequences it is bringing? And then we use pharmacotherapy and counseling. So pharmacotherapy is where we use drugs, such as, for example, like Tegretol, to be able to manage you and all that. Now, the next question would be, how do I prevent all this? I already have taken more of your minutes, but let me finalize by saying, embrace healthy coping mechanisms. That does not mean if you have a fight with your wife that you now run out and find yourself going to drinking or watching pornography or staying away or going to fasting for 40 days. It becomes an issue because it already affects your health. Get involved in something you care about. So for example, like me, I write, I'm an author, I start writing, and this one, I'll teach you something called journaling. Learn to start writing. If you have a negative issue happening within you, write it. Stay close to friends and family. Many times, whatever we do, we don't want to do it around our families. And then love yourself. Because ask yourself, if you are pumping a lot of cigar within you, if you're pumping a lot of pornography within you, do you love yourself? Would you do that to your child? Would you let your child also do that one day? For drugs and substance abuse, don't start. If you have not started, don't start. And if you have started, seek help from professionals. If you have started and you're feeling that you're already addicted, ask the professional to help you in harm reduction. And then there are rehabilitation centers and mental health hospitals like Camille. So I want to rest my case there. I know I've taken 5 more minutes. And thank you. Mwangi.
Awesome. Ezekiel, Daktari, asante sana. I like the prevention part where we are saying you get yourself to start journaling, you connect with people, connect with your family and friends, and I loved that part of self-love, self-care. I want to acknowledge our sponsors. One more time because they have stood with us ever since we started Candid Conversations, and people are still coming on board. We want to say asante sana to Outburst Limited. Make it count. They are doing that. They're making it count. Serena Hotels, you are awesome. Cakes by Violet, Charisma Logistics, Loreto Msungari, KEFCA, Kenya Hospices and Palliative Care Association. Thank you so much for your support. It's Africa Institute of Professional Counseling. You are stars, Shakoangio Photography, Namiri Up and Sports Apparel, and Warriors who are keeping us hydrated. We want to say asante to all our sponsors. I also want to, before we go to our Q&A session, I want to remind you why we do what we do. This is our CSR arm of our business, and we do this to have an impact in someone else's life. We don't do this for ourselves, but we do this to be a blessing to someone. And we have chosen to stand with the hospices in Kenya who do the work of palliative care. So every coin that we give tonight and in the days to come goes straight to supporting the work of palliative care in Kenya. And we've been supporting the GIO. The number to send support is 750822. 7822. That's the till number where you can send your support, and you will definitely be sure that it will go towards supporting those who need support, especially in this season of COVID-19 where they are among the people who are affected most. So thank you so much for supporting us. To all our participants here tonight and those who have been coming the past 6 or so sessions, we salute you and we want to say asante. Daktari, thank you for that. I want to go us to go to our Q&A session. Okay, so kindly, ladies and gentlemen, send in your questions so that I can post them to Dr. Ezekiel, who will be handling these questions. We proceed. But before, as I wait for you to type in your question, I want to ask Daktari, Doc, could someone be having an addiction and they do not know? Is it possible for someone to have an addiction and they are not aware?
What I would say is that remember, an addiction has some substantial harm. So it is important for you to realize that then you may not have an addiction unless it's happening unconsciously. Because according to one of the ways we look at things is something we call psychodynamic, whereby some of the things that happen when you're growing up, you have covered them, you're living with them. So yes, and I would say 20% yes, but 80% no, because behavior is what helps us identify whether this is an addiction or not. So I would say not really. 90%, no, 80% yes, and 80% no, and 20% yes.
So most of the time people know that, they're causing harm to themselves and others, and they know that they're into this thing. But my other question is, can someone heal completely from an addiction?
Yes.
As in, if they are, they can do that?
200%. Remember, at the end of the day, once you go through rehabilitation, if it was not insisted by your parents, you were the one who really wanted to quit this behavior. Remember, I talked about opening the door from within. Whenever it is what we call internal motivated, then it is easy for you to heal completely. And we have so many people who have walked that path and have healed. Specifically, I would say I have testament of about 4 or 5 who have come to the clinic and we have worked with them and they have healed. Pornography, yes, I've also seen people go through that. And we do something called in vivo exposure therapy. We expose you to all that and people heal completely, 100% and 200%. Yes, people healing completely.
All right. Joel is putting you on the spot, Doc. Sorry. But that's why we hold candid conversations where you can come and tell us your story. And so Joel is asking you directly, and he's asking, what are some addictions you have had yourself, Doc, and how did you deal with them?
Twende kazi. My wife is listening, and I'm hoping I'm not going to be killed after the session.
This is utawambia
I would say that personally I struggled with smoking many years ago, and this is an honest thing that I personally do not share anywhere. But for the sake of this session, I would say yes, I struggled with smoking for about 13 years. And it was just like a pleasure I used to nosebleed a lot. And so someone encouraged me through peer pressure. I went through that. But through the same, as I said, I have used this reduction strategy from 20 to 4 and finally to 0. I recovered completely, and it has been many years from that time. So yes, any other? No, I haven't struggled with anything else.
All right, and I am told, and I have also not quite experienced, but I have seen that smoking is one of those very difficult addictions to quit. So congratulations, Doc, for reducing all the way to 0 and quitting that. Mercy is asking, how can we protect teenagers from media or internet addiction? And I know they have all these channels on TV. We have all these gadgets in our hands. How do we help our teenagers and how do we protect them from addiction?
You see, these people have internet everywhere. They have their gadgets, and there is no way you can, coerce them. There are two approaches of management, where you coerce people or you motivate people to do things differently. Now, get them to do some other things they love. Say, for example, and then I would give this as an example in my family, that I have a teenager, and the boy loves a lot of TV. But we now started finding it, we came up with a way of riding a bicycle, whereby we bought him a bicycle and we said, there are moments you'd want to go out there, let us ride together. I could drive and then you ride. Now I'm finding it also fun for me to also buy a bicycle so that we can also ride together. So how do we handle that? We let these people do what they love. And then we start doing what we call harm reduction. Harm reduction means when you spend 200 hours on TV, like for us, we agreed on also doing mathematics because I'm a good person in mathematics. So we agreed, set up a timetable, TV time, learning time, and all that. And my boy is doing very fine.
Awesome. So it's substituting and getting people to enjoy their other passions. So Jen Matu, my friend from Thika, is asking that, I have this friend who went on for rehab from alcohol, but they can't stop smoking. Why is that? So Jen thought that when they're being rehabilitated from alcohol, they should also do the same on smoking. So how come, Doc?
Yeah, you see, at the rehabilitation center, what you mentioned earlier is that one of the challenges in handling cigarette, nicotine specifically addiction, is that tar is very addictive and that it causes a lot of withdrawal syndromes. So what at the rehabilitation was not done is to identify the cause. What is it? Why, when someone smokes, what do they feel? So they went back. So what we can do to someone who is smoking is there are two programs. There's one program in Gara called the Methadone program. In Methadone program, when you try to smoke cigarettes, what happens is that you have a headache, you have all that. So they like replace. And another way is now where we bring in the harm reduction. So what was not done is identifying the root cause of cigarette smoking. all right? So they need to go to a mental health clinic and they'll get this and they will be helped 100%. And a lot of counseling for them at the end of the day.
Okay, and so the procedure for quitting the cigarette is almost the same as what he had underwent doing alcohol rehabilitation? Doc?
Alcohol rehabilitation, yes, alcohol rehabilitation is whereby when we get there, we reduce, you start now reducing. At the rehabilitation, there's no drinking. So in other words, you don't go what we call cold turkey. What we do is that we give you medication that replaces what alcohol was doing. They're the same. They're the same. But remember, as I said, quitting alcohol is easier than quitting smoking because smoking has a way. In fact, there's something else I forgot to mention, that a lot of exercises help a person get out of smoking cigarettes. Reason is it starts clearing your lungs and you now be able to breathe. And then we do a lot of meditation just to show you how well you would live a life without smoking. So they are the same, but remember, smoking is deeper. It has nicotine that gets into our lungs completely. So that's what I would say, and that's how we've been managing all this.
Okay, and so I hope that Jane, then you can support your friend to quit smoking. George Owori is asking, what brings about tremor on the hands in most people who are addicted to alcohol?
Withdrawal syndromes. So what happens is that withdrawal syndrome means that I have not consumed what my body requires. When you are addicted, it means your body now is at peace with anything you are consuming. So say, for example, if it's alcohol, your body is at peace. So it has accepted it and it is calling for it. Nasemaga kutoa lock. So they go removing lock in the morning. Iyo kutoa lock is that the body has been given its dosage. So people shake because of withdrawal syndrome. But when they come to the clinic, we now help them differently. We ensure that we give them something that replaces cigarette smoking. Mwangi wanted to mention I think it's Mary you mentioned. Please don't try to help your friend. It's very beyond you to help anyone. They might pull you into it because you see, somebody is, when somebody is weak, they have a possibility of pulling someone. Recommend them to a professional, people who have spent time, and specifically rehabilitation centers.
Awesome. And when we were saying support is because we support them with the information that we get also, that when we get the information here, then it's easy to point them to the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. So asante sana daktari for that. I want to pick almost the last question. There's a question on, I'll do two questions, Doc, and this one, I don't know if you're in a position to answer. Jane is asking, what causes bipolar? And then I will take another question from Shane. I hope I pronounced it correctly. And they say, I think addictions like risky behavior are on the rise, but may go undetected and are easy to hide. So it may be harder to seek help from this. What would your advice be to someone who is living with an addiction to sex, for example, but cannot be accountable? Doc, let's go with those.
Thank you very much. Let me take first the question on bipolar. I understand what bipolar is. Bipolar is a mood disorder. And bipolar means there is what we call maniac. Maniac means you're the highest level. You are doing so many things. You're breaking things. You are doing all that. And then down there is what we call depressive disorder. This is bipolar is in two categories. You either are up or down. Now, what causes it? Number one, genetics. If you have someone who in your family was in that, it may take you there. The number two thing is depression and a lot of sadness. Number three is loss and grief. That many times when we do not handle our losses and grief, then we find ourselves going into what we call bipolar. And it is not a must that you will get there to bipolar. But remember, we have a tool to check on that, which is something that you may seek online or go to a clinic and get that. On the other question of undetected, like say, for example, like sex addiction, the question would be that, say, for example, you are addicted to porn. Sex means you have multiple partners, 10, 15, 13. And what I know is that many people who are addicted to sex many times have another issue called non-protective, where they don't protect themselves. We have seen a lot of that. There's a lot of attachment between not protecting yourself and multiple partners. Now, consequences always come. And you see, you don't tell me that you will sleep with another woman or another, I know you'll not sleep, you'll sleep with a woman or another lady or a lady. And then at the end of the day, there are no consequences. So how do you help such kind of a person? You may not help someone, because even people who have not come to church can never be helped by the pastor. So me, I would think that until you as a person discover that this thing is going beyond. I have 10 babies now out there. Number 3, I have 8 STDs, all that. So to me, I would say there's nothing that can be hidden forever. Things will have to come up. So personally, I would say as a psychologist, I may not help someone who doesn't come to me. It may be very impossible. Even your family may not be able to help you, because many of them say, don't tell them. Please kindly don't tell them. Yeah. Don't tell my family what I'm doing. And for us, maybe Mwangi may finalize by saying, as counselors, we don't disclose anything that doesn't cause harm to you. We behold it in what we call confidence. So, and until you get to a place where you want to do what your personal disclosure in written form, I may not disclose.
Awesome, awesome. We're almost coming to the end of the show tonight. Doc, you're doing a fantastic job, I must confess. But allow me to celebrate a few people who standing time, and they were award winners. All right, we want to celebrate them tonight, and we want to confirm that they got what we promised. Okay, and there we go. That lady got herself the pair of gloves, courtesy Mary. Congratulations, Wairimo, for that. And then we have also people who won t-shirts. There's someone who won a t-shirt. There's someone who won the belt. Do we have those clips? They sent us to just confirm that they got these things. Do we have those clips? Okay, as I'm waiting for those clips, we want to award some people tonight who were very quick on their machines or phones, but they have quick hands. They have really, really quick hands. And so our winners tonight, we can see, there we go. Some people who won. There is the person who won the knee pads, the kneecaps. I can see that. Let's see the next one. Okay, and then we had that lady, courtesy the husband, where they got themselves the waist training band, courtesy Namiri. Asante sana, Namiri Sport and Apparel. You are the best. And then I can see my friend there with a big smile called Beth, who won herself the No Pain, No Gain t-shirt. Asanteni sana. So keep participating here at Candid Conversation, and you just never know. You might be going home with awesome awards. So our award-winning participants tonight, they get themselves Outburst t-shirts are Fred Minor by typing so fast on the types of addictions. And we have my friend Oliver Manyasi, a t-shirt is coming your way. And third is Janet Kamau. We had said 2, but Janet Kamau, you came in gun blazing. all right? And you said gambling addiction, what the doctor had said had not been mentioned: gambling addiction, internet, video games, sex, shopping, plastic surgery addiction, food, and risky behavior addiction. I want to say asanteni sana, all right? Thank you for the good job. Ladies and gentlemen, like we always say here at Candid Conversation is that we enlighten minds, inspire people, and enrich lives. And as we do that to impact someone else's life. We do that to support the hospices in Kenya. We have been supporting the Gio Hospice in Kiambu County for the past 4 years, and we have made a promise to keep going. So kindly support us so that we can be of great support to them. As we come towards the end of our show tonight, Doc, I want you to give us your parting shot. And as you plan to do that, I want to ask you, so Doc, what is your advice to someone battling an addiction, okay? And what would you advise people to do to stay healthy? What will you do to advise people to stay healthy? What is your advice for someone battling an addiction? And then where can we find help, Doc?
I would say that number one, my parting shot is there is no solution in say, for example, drugs. Your solution is not in drugs, and that the more you spend them, the more you are shortening your life. So it is important to do anything in life with a lot of controls. Control your life and control your future. Now, how do we handle anyone who is addicted? I would mention that if you're finding yourself going through a lot of things that are harming your family and as well as you, then it is time for you to seek help. Seek help from a professional. The first step towards any healing is that step you take by moving towards a professional counselor. At Kamili organization, we don't charge any. We actually charge 500 shillings for registration. It is based at Lower Kabete Hospital. We also have clinics at Wangige. No, not Wangige. There is this one, Kangemi. Every Wednesday we go to Kangemi, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday we are at Lower Kabete, and then there is the last one. There is a clinic on Friday at Gashie, and the reason why we would recommend that you see a counselor and a professional is because there are so many quacks out here who let you injure you. One of the principles of counseling says it's what we call beneficence, that any person who comes to you must benefit from you. And therefore, I would say seek help from a professional. I'm ready to refer you. If I cannot manage you, I cannot handle you, through Mwangi and Outburst, you can come, you can call us, and we can be able to connect you to the right resources at the end of the day. If you're battling that, if you have rehabilitations are expensive, but I would say this, that if you have a card, an NHIF card at Madare Hospital, it covers everything. It actually pays everything at the end of the day. So, but if you go to a normal private rehabilitation, you are charged 30,000 to 40,000 a month. And it's not much. It's just that you got into this thing and you did not see this coming. So remember, asiyefunzwa na mama yangu ufunzwa na ulimwengu. So the point is this, it is not bad to seek help. So seek help and you will be well. I sought help and I was well. So thank you very much.
Awesome. There you have it from Dr. Ezekiel Kiago, that seek help and you shall find. And ladies and gentlemen, let's kindly do that. Let's spread the word. If you see someone battling, ask them to seek help. The doctor's contacts, I want us to share the contacts of Dr. Kiago will be on the screen, and you can take those contacts. But kindly let us know how we are doing, what you need to know, you know, and the topics that you'd want to hear from us, and we will be bringing them. Kindly let us know how we are doing, how this is impacting your life. It will be great. Today, someone sent me a text and said, "Good job. The topics that you've been bringing have been relevant." And so I want to say asante sana. Jane Matu is saying, "Timely presentation, Doc. Addiction is really harming our people of all ages and walks of life. We need more of this." Faith Imani is saying, "Wow, thank you, Doc. This is a powerful presentation. God bless you." Thank you, Moas and team. God bless you. Asanteni sana. We meet here again next week, same time, same place. But before we do that, let me leave you with the words of Edgar Allan Poe, who says that I have absolutely no pleasure in the stimulants in which I sometimes so madly indulge. It has not been in the pursuit of pleasure that I have periled life, reputation, and reason. It has been the desperate attempt to escape from torturing memories, from a sense of insupportable loneliness, and a dread of some strange impending doom. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly watch out on those things, and remember, like our good doctor said, eat healthy. That's what we champion. Exercise, it's good for you. It helps remove all those toxins, and then let's watch out on one another. I liked what he said about journaling. Let's get our connections going, and self-help and self-care. Until next week, it's goodbye. Until we meet again, same time next week, it's God bless you from me, your MC Mwangi Chege. It has been a lovely night. Watch out on addiction, stay healthy, and because we need you. Kindly follow us on our media, on our social media platforms right there. Everything is Outburst Limited. Tell your friends to tell your friends to tell your friends and your family that we'll be here next time, same time, 8 to 9 next week. Until then, God bless you and goodbye. Cheers.